It's the All Things Real Estate podcast with the Bald Brothers team. We are the Bald Brothers.
We are the Bald Brothers, and that over there is
Aaron. And
do you have a last name, Aaron?
Aaron Zapata. Yes, I do. And the other bald brother
is Todd Anderson.
That's right. So if you are just listening to this show, welcome back. We thank you for joining us for today's podcast. We've got a great topic for you today. What is that topic, Todd?
We have got a single topic we want to talk about today. It is how to fix the real estate market.
Of course, that assumes that it's broken. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the genius solution that has been proposed.
Incredible solution. You got to listen to the whole thing to get it.
That's right. So thank you, and welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Todd.
We're the Bald Brothers team here at Impact Properties. My license number is 0135. I don't even know.
013-565-344.
Wow.
Mine is 020-77325.
Well, see, there you go. I haven't said it enough.
I've got yours memorized, but you don't have mine.
I don't, but I do have the corporate license memorized for Impact Properties.
That's right.
0192267.
Can you say that one more time?
0192267.
All right, we've done it.
We've done it. That's right. We have not done it all, though. We are not your attorneys. We're not your real estate agents. We're not giving you legal advice, tax advice, or real estate advice. But if you'd like to work with the Bald Brothers team, we would love to hear from you. How can they call us, Todd?
They can call us at 833-305-BALD. That stands for BALD.
Bald, like no hair on our heads.
No hair, follically challenged.
We are follically challenged, people.
833-305-BALD.
That's right. So you're not caught off guard. We do have a call center, takes your number, takes your name, and they will forward that to us. They'll try to direct connect to us, but if we're, of course, on the air or we are out with a client in an appointment, we will not take that call, and we will call you back as soon as we can. You can also find us online. You can watch all of our videos. Perhaps you're watching this video right now on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
How do they get there?
BaldBrothers.tv is the easiest way to get to all of our videos.
You know, we have some new t-shirts.
We do.
BaldBrothers.tv is on the back.
That's right.
So people can come watch our videos. Do you want one?
I want a t-shirt. I've got plenty of t-shirts.
You've got plenty of t-shirts. Okay.
My kids have t-shirts too. My wife has a t-shirt.
That's right. In fact, we've had some of our customers and our friends ask us for them, and so we've got some more that we've got to print up.
Yeah, you know, this last weekend, I had a friend ask if we have more t-shirts. He doesn't have a t-shirt, but he saw that I was wearing one, and he wanted one that he could wear around. And sadly, we're all out. We gave the last one out, so we need to get some more.
We did. And they are the Bella Canva t-shirts. They're so soft. And maybe that's a problem.
So soft and so smooth.
People wear them to sleep in as pajamas.
I do.
Exactly. I need people to wear them out of the house. Okay, so we got to get like maybe the Gildan ones that aren't so soft. Hey, just so you know, we serve all of Southern California. We specialize in real estate here in Los Angeles and Orange County, as well as San Bernardino and Riverside. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Bald Brothers Team and Twitter at Bald Brothers Team. And if you have a house to sell and you want to sell it as is, please give us a call because we could talk to you about that process and what that looks like. And we'd love to help you out.
Yep, I think we got it all out there
we do.
How they can find us.
We do. Absolutely.
So what are we talking about today, Aaron?
We're going to talk about how to fix the broken real estate market.
We've got all the answers right here. We are going to fix it in this next half hour, next 20 minutes.
That's
We're going to fix the real estate market.
That's right, because we have some thoughts on the subject matter. And you know what? We'd love to get your feedback. We have no idea if this is a viable solution, but I wanted to throw it out there. I posted something on my Twitter account at Aaron Zapata, and somebody retweeted it, and they called me a genius. And they got me thinking, am I? I'm not. I'm not.
You can tell yourself that you're a genius as often as you want. The question is, will other people? You have one person that told you that you're a genius. So that's you're on the start.
Well, they thought the idea was genius, and so I thought it would be important for us to kind of rehash some of the stuff that's going on in the market, because if you are buying or selling, or you're a realtor and you're listening to this, you know that we have record low inventory.
That is very true. We are in the month of July right now as we're recording, and you've been in real estate longer than I have. But in the last several years that I've been in it, I've never seen a market as slow as it is currently in the
Yeah.
last several years.
Yeah. And it's not like realtors are sitting around doing nothing to try to drum up business.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's not enough business to go around.
That's the issue.
So as of today, today I did some research, and here in our California Regional MLS, which covers most of Southern California, like all of LA County, almost even down to San Diego, lots of stuff. New listings in June was approximately 21,000, down 36% from last year,
Wow.
which is down from the year before.
Yeah.
So we have very, very limited amount of properties to sell.
Yeah.
And I did an explainer video on my Instagram account. It does show that, that is one reason that prices are going back up here in Southern California. But the problem with having no inventory is we have nothing to sell.
That's the issue. Yeah.
Remember when Kmart was going out of business? Do you remember that?
No, not really.
So I went into Kmart and the shelves were half empty.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get their stock. And I thought to myself, this place has nothing to sell. And sure enough, Target put them out of business.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were the 100% reason, but Target was coming in, Walmart was coming in, and they had other better options, and Kmart was struggling to fill their shelves.
Mm-hmm.
People switched. Kmart went out of business. We don't have enough properties to sell.
Yeah.
Which means realtors are making less, which means every industry associated with a real estate transaction is also on the decline.
Yeah, what people don't realize is real estate really moves the economy, because it's not just selling homes, it's everything that's attached to that as well.
That was a good pun. Real estate moves the economy.
You like that?
Yeah, I did. You're right. It's escrow, it's title, it's home warranties, it's you name it. It's the lenders, it's the realtors.
But then you've got all the trades as well.
Exactly. the
Contractors,
movers.
plumbers. It really spirals down.
Home inspectors.
Mhm.
You got so many people that are affected by a declining real estate transactional base. It really does begin to take toll.
Yeah, when COVID had first broken out, everything was shut down, and there was a short period of time where real estate, our industry, was also shut down. We were not allowed to go out and show homes, and very quickly, that was very short-lived, because they realized that real estate is an essential industry. They were opening up things that they were considering essential.
That's right.
Real estate was deemed essential because the economy depended upon real estate being able to move.
And it did. And they got us back into the offices. They got us back working. We could start showing properties again. We could start selling again. And that helped. In fact, that year is an interesting year when you look at the numbers, because everything just went to zero, like in March. And then all of a sudden spiked, and it's like, okay, that's the anomaly. But now we're back at those low numbers, and there's no COVID. There's no restrictions. So what are some of the reasons that we have low inventory? That's going to be a key factor in fixing this problem. But what are some of the reasons we have no inventory, Todd?
Well, one of the biggest ones is and we haven't really covered this yet, but during that period, we had record low interest rates for a period of time where all of a sudden people, if they weren't selling their homes, they were refinancing their homes. And so we have anybody who today perhaps might have considered selling their home. They had refinanced at historically low interest rates. And now they're facing the fact that, hey, if I want to move and I don't own my house outright, I can't pay cash on the new property, I'm going to have a loan. Let's say I'm at 3% in my refinanced loan. Now I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to purchase a replacement home at 7% interest.
Right.
Those numbers don't add up financially. So a lot of people who may have been wanting to sell their homes have decided just to stay put, and resulting in lower inventory.
So that's one reason. Another reason. We've got lots of equity.
That's right.
And so, when you go back to the 2007 housing collapse, the mortgage meltdown, and I had a mortgage company and worked at a real estate company at the time. I didn't own either one of those, but I was in both industries, and it was like dominoes. Everything was falling around us. It took a little while, but then eventually we had short sales because home prices came down so fast, and people got caught at having bought in the top, and then the market was coming down, and now they had a loan balance that was higher than their home worth. In fact, you could get loans at 100% loan to value with almost no money out of pocket. In fact, in Chino Hills, I had a client that bought a $580,000 home with $1,200 out of pocket.
Wow.
$1,200. And they bought in the middle of 2007.
Yeah.
Bought the home, lived in the home for 6 months, and then decided to sell their business and called me up and said, hey, we need to sell. Well, by the time they had called me and we got the house prepped, the housing prices had started to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Their house was now worth $520,000. In 6 months, it dropped from $580,000 to $520,000.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? That's a short sale.
That's a short. So I was going to say, let's explain what a short sale is.
Yeah.
A short sale is just basically means you can sell it really quickly, right? It's short.
Yeah, no, not at all. That is the wrong definition of short. We are short change. We are short on money.
That's
There's not
what it
enough money
is.
to go around.
That's the ticket.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And so the house value drops below the mortgage value, and you have to call the bank and you say, we're a little short.
Mm-hmm.
Will you take less?
Yeah.
And that's called a short sale.
Yep.
So those started to come around 2008 and started to, really take hold 2009. And then homes started to get foreclosed on because banks didn't know what to do with short sales. And they're like, nah, let's just foreclose. So now the banks are holding all the inventory. They decided to sell it. So now we've got traditional home sales, we've got short sellers, and now we've got bank foreclosures. And all of a sudden we're flooded with inventory. And there's not a lot of buyers because the mortgage companies had melted down.
Mm-hmm.
Too much inventory, not enough buyers.
Yep.
Prices collapse. We dig ourselves out of a deep hole.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have short sales anymore.
Yeah. We have too little inventory.
That's right. Because home prices are so high.
Mm-hmm.
And they're continuing to climb.
Yeah.
And we don't have a mortgage meltdown, so buyers are putting 10, 15, 20% down.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got equity.
Yeah.
So we have an equity problem if we're looking for short sales.
Yeah.
Which we're not looking for short sales, but we don't have them. Do we have foreclosures?
We are not seeing the foreclosures that we had before either.
No.
Yeah.
No, because there was a moratorium,
Mm-hmm. There was. That's right. Mm-hmm.
The government said to banks, you shall not foreclose.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't know where they are with those banks, and I don't know where they're going with those, but I know a lot of people are still in forbearance. A lot of people are still, working through the short sale, through the forbearance plan or the, alternative plan that they're on with the bank with low interest rates, whatever. They're not being foreclosed on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had that period where you couldn't foreclose, but there was a moratorium on evictions. So if you had an investment property and your tenant wasn't paying, you couldn't evict them,
right?
Putting you in a position, but there's a moratorium on foreclosures as well. So a really interesting time.
Yeah, so we've got no short sales, we got no foreclosures, and like you said, and you started off with, we got low interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you heard, Todd, people say, I think I would sell, but I'm not going to give up my rate.
Yep.
Not only do they not want to give it up, they can't afford to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I were doing some research,
mm-hmm.
and on April 21st this year, the AP News reported that, first of all, 38% of homes in the United States are paid off, free and clear. So if that's the case, we don't have those to worry about. Those aren't coming back on the market. Yep. Those aren't foreclosure. Those aren't short sales, right? So of those that are left, 92% of the homes that have loans.
This number is staggering.
It's crazy.
When we found this. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem. 92% have a loan interest rate under 5%.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Under 5%.
So if you have a loan on your home that's under 5%, and let's face it, it's probably a lot of these are probably closer to 3%.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a loan like that, and now you're faced with the idea. And let's say that you've got, 80% of that. Now you're faced with the idea of having to selling your home and getting a new loan on a new home that's probably more expensive than the home that you're in. Most people are moving up. Some people are moving down. And you're looking at what, 7% roughly?
Mm-hmm.
Those numbers, you can't afford to do it.
Well, and you had mentioned a lot of people being at 3%.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, in that same article, 57% of people have interest rates under 3.5%.
Yeah.
I know I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Right? I refinanced. Everybody I know that owns a home that has a mortgage refinanced, except for one person. And he was pretty close to this. He's under 5 already. And I said, you're going to spend a lot of money to get not a lot of savings right now. And so he didn't. But I know I am under 3%.
Mm-hmm.
I know people at 1.9%.
Yeah.
I know people that I refinanced with my mortgage company at Crosswalk Mortgage. We refinanced them into 2.125,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got notice like 6 months later that they had refinanced again into 1.75.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So the fact that people have these low interest rates, they are married to the rate.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these websites and all of these Instagram things going around that says date the rate, marry the house. Buy the house now and refinance later. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But people are married to
Yeah.
the rate.
Yeah.
So how do we fix the real estate problem by addressing this?
That's a good question.
And before we do,
Uh-huh.
we got to remind people
That's right.
they should go to our website,
They should.
baldbrothersteam.com.
BaldBrothersTeam.com.
And if you like this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, share it, like it, subscribe. If you are on our podcast, All Things Real Estate with the Bald Brothers Team, we want to encourage you to subscribe, share it, like it, comment, give us a good rating. We'd love to hear your feedback. And with that thought, Todd, I'm going to go back to your thought.
Yeah. Well, my thought was,
You think?
my thought is this.
I think, therefore I think.
I was going to make a statement. And the statement is this. We are in a pickle.
We are in a pickle. Yes.
Use Grandpa's terminology.
Yes.
We are in a pickle.
We are. So here's my proposal, Todd. Well, let's do some numbers.
We're gonna fix the problem, right?
So here's
Okay.
the problem. The problem is not enough inventory. The problem is people can't afford to move,
Mm-hmm.
or choosing not to move because of the additional cost. And I did the math. At a $500,000 interest loan amount,
Mm-hmm.
at an interest rate of 3.25%
All right.
on a 30-year loan, that payment is $2,176.03 per month
Okay.
for principal and interest.
All right.
If they were to jump to a 7% rate, which is the going rate approximately today for the average borrower, same loan amount, 30 years, the new payment's going to be $3,326.51 per month.
That's a huge increase.
It is. In fact, that's an
Monthly, yeah.
increase of $1,150.48 per month.
Wow. What does that come up to annually?
Well, annually, okay, so it's a lot. It's like what, $14,000, $15,000 more per year.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about it is that, if you're using a percentage of your income
Mm-hmm.
to qualify,
Yeah.
in order to qualify at 33% of your income, you'd have to make an additional $41,500 per year
Yeah.
in order to qualify for that new amount.
Mm-hmm.
So either you were buying way under what you could afford before, or you need to go out and get a better job and make basically $42,000 more per year
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get qualified for that same amount on a loan amount,
Yeah.
but with the higher payment.
Yeah. That's
It's a problem.
And for most Americans who, are in this position, that's a significant predicament.
Yeah.
And that's leading to this shortage of inventory.
That's right.
People are locked where they are.
So a couple solutions. Of course, we could see banks foreclose,
Mm-hmm.
bring those homes back to the market.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't making their payments, foreclose on them, bring them back. We could see a resurgence of short sales,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't see happening. Or we could, of course, propose the easy solution is that the Federal Reserve start to lower the rates, which lowers the T-bills, which then
Mhm.
lowers the mortgage rates
Mm-hmm.
indirectly, but we could get better rates.
Yeah.
In fact, the CEO of Redfin said that we will see a housing resurgence,
Mm-hmm.
a rebound
Mm-hmm.
when mortgage rates hit 5%.
Mm.
I think that's true. I
Yeah,
think that's
I think you're
about
right.
the
Yeah.
number that people are looking for. But at 7%, we're not there. At 6%, we're not there. We got to get even further down. And there's a lot of economics that have to happen to get there. So I have a new plan.
Okay. What's your plan? This is the Aaron plan.
This is the new plan. And this is the one that somebody retweeted. So it's out there. But I'm going to propose a take your rate mortgage plan.
Okay. What does that mean?
That's a great question, Todd. I'm so glad you asked. Take your rate. So let's say you're a homeowner like myself,
Mhm.
and you've got a current rate of 2.75,
Okay.
which I do, and I want to move. Well, there's no way I'm going to take that jump
Mm-hmm.
from 2.75 to a 7% mortgage.
But you could take your rate with you.
But if I could take my rate one time,
Mm-hmm.
I would be tempted to do it.
Yeah.
And here's my philosophy behind it. Okay. Back in the early of the COVID-19, when everything was being shut down, Donald Trump announced on March 15th that the Federal Reserve Board was taking immediate action to fix this problem. In fact, I have an audio clip here, and I found this on YouTube. And here's the audio clip. It's a press secretary, when they're standing in the press secretary room and they're all at the podium, and he's talking. And here's what they announced that the Federal Reserve Board would do.
Yeah, that's really good news. It's really great for our country. It's something that we're very happy. I have to say this. I'm very happy. And they did it in one step. They didn't do it in 4 steps over a long period of time.
Here we go.
They're going to be purchasing $500 billion of treasuries and $200 billion of mortgage-backed securities, and that number can...
Okay, did you hear that?
Back mortgage-backed securities.
That's right. So they announced buying $500 billion in treasuries and announced buying $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities.
So what does that mean? How does that translate?
Absolutely important for us to understand why this matters. About 2 weeks before that announcement, Wall Street, who traditionally buys the mortgage-backed securities, started getting leery about where the housing market was. And I own a mortgage company, Crosswalk Mortgage, and we started getting notifications from our partners that we send money, that we originate loans with, that Wall Street was getting leery about buying those loans. And so there was an actual stop to buying those from the Wall Street. And the way a mortgage-backed security works, for those of you who maybe not know the terminology, is if there's 1,000 homeowners and they all get loans, they can package those into one big product and sell those off to insurance companies or Wall Street or somebody who's going to then hold on to those, and they're going to collect all the money. And then that's called a security. They're going to securitize this investment with all these mortgages. Well, Wall Street stopped buying. So now we're making loans, not knowing who's going to buy them on the back end.
Yeah, that was
the whole mortgage engine stops. That right there was 2007 looming at our doorstep.
And that is disaster.
Absolutely.
In the making.
And so
if that happens.
Yeah, because it was so scary. And I remember being there, I was thinking, what in the world is going to happen? And then COVID hit. And then one of the first announcements that was made, March 15th, was that announcement that Trump announced that the Federal Reserve is going to buy mortgage-backed securities up to $200 billion. So what that means is that when, for a period of time, at that time, unknown how long it would last, any loan that was originated through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or Ginnie Mae, any of those loans would be purchased by the Federal Reserve Board indefinitely. When the government is taking the risk, where do rates go?
They go down.
They go down.
Yeah.
And we saw unprecedented low rates. So the government took the risk. The government bought those loans through the Federal Reserve, and they still own most of them.
Yeah, that's why we had those historic low rates after COVID, during that period of time.
That's right. And at the beginning of this year, 2023, the government announced we're going to stop buying these mortgage-backed securities. And where did rates go?
They went up.
They did. They did. Of course they do. Because Wall Street's like, hey, that's kind of risky. Government's like,
Wall Street's not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that all ties into my suggestion. So these loans, my loan, is still on the books at 2.75%. I've been making my payment faithfully. I have no lates. I've got a great FICO score. And if my bank came to me, who services the loan, it doesn't mean they own the loan, but if they came to me and they said, hey, we've got a new program, if you decide to move, you can take your rate with you. Now, I suggested put a little bit of caveat in there and say, you have to be moving. You can't just refinance. You have to move. You have to close this loan and get a new one. and your new rate's going to be no less than 3%. But we're going to give you a great rate on a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably take the bait.
Yep.
Because it eliminates this incredibly difficult jump
Yep.
in payment.
Yeah, it eliminates that entire risk factor. I think that's a great idea. You know, you fixed it.
I fixed it. But okay, so I try to break the system. I try to look at this and think, okay, what's wrong with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good because I'm having a hard time breaking it because the government already owns my loan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the government continues to keep my loan. But now my new loan balance is likely to go up because I'm usually going to buy up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it could even buy down. But even if it goes down,
Yeah.
they're now getting a new start. And if you've looked at amortization charts, like 80% of your loan payment, the first 3 years goes to interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But they get a new start on that. So they get a new fresh start on more interest,
Yeah.
right?
So there's some incentive for them
financially,
to
right?
do it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and
It's a win-win.
they still portfolio the loan. They're still at risk. In fact, they're making their hedged position even better
Mm-hmm.
because now they've reset with a good paying customer at a little bit higher rate on a new loan at the very beginning of an interest period.
Yeah.
I think it's a win for the government if they do that. Plus, it's a win for us in the real estate market because homeowners who are married to their rate
Things start to move again.
can take it with them.
Yep.
Here's the other benefit. Buyers buying my home in this scenario would still have to take the current rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for them.
Yeah. Buyers who are not moving,
Buyers
who
who
are not moving from an existing loan.
correct.
Yeah. So
Correct.
new buyers, they're still going to
Yeah.
be at the higher interest rate.
First time home buyers, right? Or somebody who doesn't currently have a great rate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't offer it to them.
Yeah.
But if our government owns the loan and they want to get things rolling,
Yeah.
they can send out a letter to every single homeowner that has a rate of 3% and says, hey, if you want to move, take your rate with you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. I haven't actually thought that, I'll tell you, this is the first I've heard it right now.
I was not telling you on
you
purpose.
were not telling me on purpose.
I wanted
So
to
could
get
be
you-
surprised.
I wanted to
a
get you a
genuine
real
reaction. No, I think
response.
it sounds great. I'm trying to think of any potential shortfalls, and you actually answered that shortfall. I think it's a great idea. So now what's the next step? How do we make this happen?
Well, if somebody's listening to this and they know Janet Yellen,
Yes,
just go tell her.
just go tell Jen.
Right. Or tag Fannie Mae Freddie Mac and hashtag take your rate with you. Right.
Yep.
Hashtag take your rate.
Yeah.
And we could petition for people to be able to take their rate with them.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just was
Just
thinking
let them know.
about it.
The Bald brothers. This is what they say.
Yeah, the Bald brothers say that.
You guys know them, the
yeah,
Bald brothers.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So I thought it was a plan that solved a couple of issues.
Yeah.
There's probably problems with it.
There always are.
Unforeseen
Mhm.
realizations that come out of the
There's
woodwork.
no such thing as a perfect plan.
Yep.
But I think that sounds like a great idea. That we've seen some other plans that haven't worked out so well to try to stimulate the economy or the real estate market. One recent one that we had to try to stimulate new buyers was the CalHFA. Remember that one?
Well, it wasn't the CalHFA,
Well-
because that's a separate program,
Yeah, a separate
which still
program.
exists.
Mhm.
But it was this short-lived, like 1
Very
week
short-lived. Yeah.
program where in California, California would lend you
Mm-hmm.
up to 20% for your down payment.
Yeah. But there was a catch.
There's always a catch when the government's giving you money.
That's right. Remember that.
The catch was that they would be co-owners of the increased gain over time.
So if they lent you 20%, that equity would grow and the government would own that 20%.
That's right. So
And the second part, so there was a catch to that. The other part was there was a limited fund. And so it was very short-lived. Once the money was gone, it was gone.
Right.
So it was like a little blip, boosted everything for a very short period of time, and then it was gone.
yeah, it was literally. I think the funds were accounted for
Mm-hmm.
and were allocated
Mm-hmm.
within like 10 days
Yeah.
of them announcing the program. And sad story, we actually had an escrow.
We had an escrow. We had a buyer that was on that program.
Yep.
And it fell out of escrow, not because they were no longer qualified, but we don't know for sure, but we believe it was because they realized it wasn't going to be a good deal for them in the long run.
Yeah.
And so they got
In the
got
wrong
scared.
run. It was a
in the wrong.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they backed out,
Yeah, yeah.
and they weren't qualified for that new program. Once our deal fell out, like, they couldn't go back and reopen a new loan because they'd been kicked out of the program.
Yeah.
There were no more slots available.
Yep.
They lost their spot in line, per
Yeah.
se. And so, yeah, didn't work. I mean, our economy hasn't been sparked because of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. So anyways,
Yep.
if you are listening to this and or watching it on YouTube, we want to hear your comments and we want to hear your feedback, because we just want to know, you think it's a good idea, bad idea? What do you like about it?
I'd love to know, because right now in this environment, I can't think of setbacks, but I'm sure there are. And we got smart listeners. I'd love to know from comments any potential problems you'd see with that proposed Aaron program.
It's Take Your Rate program.
The Take Your Rate
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. Well, Todd, we're out of time.
Yeah, it goes quickly.
Today's podcast is brought to you by the Bald Brothers team. That's Todd and myself. We also would like to welcome as a new sponsor to our show, Beacon Escrow.
Yes, Beacon Escrow.
That's right. So if you have an escrow that you need taken care of here in California, we would love to hear from you over at beaconescrow.com. It's a brand new company.
Yep.
So thank you for being here. Subscribe, like, share, hit the button. Apparently there's a button.
There's a button.
Ding, ding.
There's always
a bell.
button.
A bell. And give us your feedback. Until next time, God bless.